Farm Basics is brought to you by the Liberty Link trait and Liberty herbicide from Bayer. The most reliable weed management solution, Liberty Link and Liberty herbicide are the link to efficient row crop production and sustainable weed management.
During our Farm Basics time today, we want to talk about how do you keep bugs out of your house.
I absolutely love fall. That's my favorite season of the year.
You're going to say you love bugs, Darren.
No, well, I do love bugs, just not in my house. And you know, one of the worst things about fall is we've got box elder bugs, we've got lady beetles, we even have some ants that are trying to get into the house. We got crickets out in the yard keeping me up at night when I open my windows. I don't want those bugs around, Brian. I just want some peace around my home.
Yep, so a lot of people get really nervous about pesticides. Darren and I were over in Europe this summer, and of course, in Europe, boy, it is a terrible word to say pesticide, but you know, well, I'm talking to people all the time about a lot of the products that are coming out now. If they're not natural products, they're derived from a natural product. So for example, what I spray around my house and lawn and even inside the house is a product called Tempo. It's a pyrethroid insecticide, and the pyrethroids come from the poison found in the chrysanthemum flower. It's like sprinkling a flower all around my house. I mean, is it possible somebody could be allergic to that flower? It's possible, but it's never gonna kill anybody. It's not that harmful.
Well, what I'll do with Tempo is not only will I spray it around the outside edge of my house, I'll spray it right along my door sills, I'll spray it underneath my windows, I'll spray it right along the base of my house and in my landscaping. I'll also just spray my whole yard. One of the things that bugs me the most is crickets, Brian. I just can't stand the sound of them. I don't like them getting in my garage or in my basement. I'll spray my whole yard for them. And what I found is it also keeps down mosquitoes and some of the other pesky bugs that can be out there in the fall and ruin some really nice nights out in the autumn.
Okay, since you mentioned mosquitoes, and this is one of the big things that we try to focus on when we're talking about pesticides is there some risk? Yeah, there's a tiny amount of risk. I mean, somebody's pot could possibly be allergic to something, you might break out a little bit. The odds of that are slim, but it could happen. But the other side of it is we've got harmful diseases that we could get. So the mosquitoes, they carry West Nile in some cases. There are people that have died from that, okay? You're not gonna die from spraying a pyrethroid. You could die from mosquito bites though.
Well, one other thing is ticks. When we get ticks, when we're out in our grassy areas or out in our tree belts, this kind of thing, my dog will pick up ticks, my kids occasionally have a tick on them. Well, we don't wanna have ticks out there because again, you can have a harmful disease like Lyme disease get into you or your pet. And you don't wanna see those things. You can stop them very easily.
Yep, back when we used to have livestock on the farm, Darren and I had to do hog chores every day, morning and night, every day. And one of the big things that our dad was focused on is making sure that anywhere where the hogs were, it was relatively clean, especially with cobwebs and spiders, because he just said if you have cobwebs and spiders all over the place, you absolutely are going to have more disease in hogs. Now, I don't know, what diseases that's going to be, but all I know is I think about it all the time, even in my house. I see cobwebs and spiders, and I want those things gone right away. Well, when you're spraying Tempo, you're going to have a lot fewer spiders around because, again, it's going to control spiders, ants, crickets, grasshoppers, I mean, a whole host of insects, and it is labeled to spray in and around homes.
Well, let's just look at the cost side of this, because you may be saying, yeah, those things bother me, but it's not worth a whole bunch of money to take care of them or a whole bunch of time to do it. Frankly, it takes me about 15 minutes to spray my yard and around the house for bugs. It really doesn't take very long. Now, if you say, well, I've got a 10-acre acreage, I don't think you probably need to spray the whole 10 acres, but maybe you spray an acre or two right around your house just to keep the bugs away. Either way, the cost is pretty low. For a house in town, you're going to spend $5, maybe even less, to control all your bugs, and you're going to get residual control for probably a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and so we do suggest spraying at least once a month, maybe even every 2 to 3 weeks if you have a lot of bugs around your house. And you can just see the higher rate that you use, the more residual you're going to have. So it's kind of this trial and error thing that you'll figure out in time. But the main thing is, we just want to stress to you, there is a way to stop those bugs from getting into your house. You can spray a product like Tempo, relatively safe to human beings, but it's very lethal to a lot of bugs.
Well, unfortunately, Tempo doesn't do a thing for our Weed of the Week, but we'll show you what does coming up later in the show.